Hi, Haley Lou.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm
a breath of fresh air.
That's nice.
That's what you are, is a breath
I'll
of fresh
take
air.
It. Okay, imagine if someone's just like, how are you today? And you're like, I'm a breath of fresh air. But it's nice to hear. Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi.
Do you feel like a breath of fresh air?
Sometimes. I'm trying to think if I feel that way today.
I think you have to feel that way today because
I think I'm a breath of air. Yeah, I don't know if it's fresh today. But it's like I'm breathing, so.
Yeah. Sometimes, when I'm walking through the world, I feel like I can definitely lift other people up. Oh. You know what I mean? Like there are days where I'm like, oh,
Thank you so much.
There are days where I'm like, oh, I can infuse that person, like even a stranger with like happiness and just spread joy. And then when I'm in a shitty mood or a bad mood, I'm like, I hope no one makes eye contact with me and catches what I'm traveling around with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to spread the bad
it's
vibes.
like that. The best thing you can do on those types of days is not spread whatever energy
negativity
you have.
Like maybe just hermit at home.
Yeah, just like
stay at home. Yeah, that's what I do. Usually it involves a Xanax and an edible. I like to pair those two things together just to like take it down. And so that way I'm almost like I have to numb out. Like if I'm in that state, I just have to numb out because otherwise I become like hysterical.
Yeah.
And I just want and there's like a feeling of rage.
Yeah.
And
crafts help me. I don't know if you're into crafts, but crafts are like I guess my
what
Xanax.
Kind?
Like beading, crocheting, and like making fridge magnets. Like I don't know if maybe it's like something about resorting to your inner child that like. But maybe try a Xanax, an edible, and a fridge magnet.
And making a bracelet.
And making a bracelet.
I was reading through your new book of poetry. Haley Lou has a new book of poetry called I'm Sad and Horny.
Yeah, true.
Which is a great fucking title. It's a great title for a tour. I'm sorry that you took it, although I could probably still use it, but I won't. And which is a surprise because we know your most famous role, not your only role. You've been in tons of stuff, but your most
drip of sweat that literally was just dripping down my arm.
That's very welcome here. It's fine.
It was fully like a tear. My armpits were crying.
Your armpits were crying.
Yeah, I'm really that sad.
And that horny.
Yeah,
I guess.
Horny. You're dripping. That's how horny you are.
Yeah.
You're most well known from playing Portia on White Lotus. That was a huge role for you. I know you've been in tons of stuff. You were in Unpregnant. There's a whole litany of you've been acting since you were a kid. But everyone found out about you during White Lotus. So you're coming out with this book of poetry, which is very unexpected. I would never have expected that, like from anyone really. So
that's a fun thing to be
keep
in
them guessing.
Yeah, keep them guessing, keep them on their toes.
Yeah, and so can I just read one of the poems out loud?
Sure.
Or would you prefer to read it?
No, please.
Do you want to have it read
Take
to
it away.
you?
I'm interested in which one.
Because there's lots of art too in this. I'm going to pick one of the ones at the top because I didn't like. There. First of all, there's beautiful artwork in this.
Thank you. Shout out to my friend Lily.
Yeah, shout out to your friend Lily. Okay, this one's called New Place. Alone in South Africa. Put my underwear in a drawer and bought some throw pillows. Maybe it'll finally feel like home. It never felt like one when we were together. Now I want to take your last name and fall asleep to the sound of your deviated septum. The Mandela effect. Or am I a spoiled brat? I know myself deeper than that. To be alone in South Africa is better than being lonely with you.
That's really cool.
Ding,
Hearing
ding,
you read it. I like
Yeah.
it better. That's cool.
So that poem it sounds like it's about a breakup.
It sounds like
you moved to South Africa after a breakup. But
I was living in South Africa for a movie, and it's kind of self-explanatory. It's interesting because that one is about, to me personally, multiple relationships and just like this journey of like accepting just like actually being on your own. But yeah, that was cool hearing you read it.
Well, and I think that we have a lot of people who call in and write in with similar questions to that, where it's like they're afraid of being alone. And they might be like 32 and they're like, and if I leave this relationship, I'll be alone forever. And it's like, first of all, not likely true. Actually, it's better to be alone and be with yourself than be in a relationship where you're lonely, where you're
feeling lonely with someone else
is way worse.
Like the most empty feeling in the world. And being alone, feeling lonely on your own is actually okay.
Mhm.
Like, it's actually proving to be not super awful all the time. It's awful sometimes, but I like it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You know,
And I
it's a
think,
cool-
I mean, this book kind of covers the transition, I think, from your 20s to your 30s, right?
For
it's
sure.
like a comprehensive
Well, I mean, I just turned 30, so it's not like I
moving
all
into
knowing what
moving
30s
into
about
your
the
30s.
30s.
So
Yeah.
from your 20s moving into your 30s, which
Yeah.
is a really integral part of like becoming a woman, you know?
Yeah.
Like I didn't really feel like a woman until I turned 50 this year.
Wow.
Like now I feel like a woman, but like
Oh my
a
gosh,
woman,
cool.
like a
Yeah.
lion, you
Yeah.
know, like a lioness.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I feel like a male lion.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fun. I can't wait to get there.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like a woman. I
Yeah.
feel like a woman. Like,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
but like I'm excited to feel like a male lion.
And do you feel like a woman or do you feel like a girl? Do you feel you're
I feel like a woman.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I feel like not a woman,
Right.
but a woman.
Yeah.
Like, I do. And I do.
I mean, I think what is so underappreciated or so we don't speak enough about it in like the female space is, and men of course don't want to talk about it because men don't want us to be alone. You know, they want us to pair up with them. But the value of spending time by yourself, the value of going through breakups, reflecting back on them, understanding that you survived, that you're okay, that you're going to do that no matter what happens, you will overcome it. Like, you know, unless you're diagnosed with
Another drip of sweat.
she's super horny
I don't
right
know
now.
what's
She's
happening. I'm just
Do you need a tissue? Do we need
I
we need a
do.
tissue for
I
Haley?
just like have
She's leaking, everyone.
I'm leaking from my pit.
It
It's
is
okay,
like
it's
cold,
okay.
but
But
also I'm also
that's
sweating.
what it is. Like, I'm not hot.
Yeah.
Did you
like
have coffee? I find coffee makes me
I
sweat.
didn't. I had
immediately.
matcha,
Today.
but you know what? I will. Thank you so much. I think it's truly because of my deodorant. I use it's a deodorant. It's not an antiperspirant. So like,
Is it
So
organic?
you're
like
Is
sweat.
my sweat smells good, but it's just like it almost makes me more wet. like,
Yeah.
under my.
Are
Yeah.
you using organic deodorant? Because that
I
doesn't
do.
work.
I know it doesn't.
It doesn't
I
work
just
at
don't
all.
want whatever. What is it? The
Aluminum.
Like,
But
I
we're
just-
getting it anyway. You
No,
might as
we
well.
get
Just,
it.
I mean,
I know
we're
I might as well just surrender. I might as well.
I there's always like with all this organic stuff, it's like that's a great idea if my whole life was cleaned out by some sort of organic, Buddha
That's
or
true.
some sort of shaman that was going to
Yeah.
come in and clean out my whole house.
But that's
we're
kind of
exposed-
impossible because we live in this
It
world at
is.
this
I know.
time.
We've
and
got
it's like,
plastic in our brains.
yeah, we do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've just learned to accept it.
Right? Like, what
That's
else can
good.
we do? It's like, okay.
Okay.
Keep eating organic.
I'll try. I'll get some Dove. I'll try one step at a time.
So back to
Yes.
your womanhood.
Yeah.
So, because you were in a long relationship, you were in a 7-year relationship, right? At one point, you broke up a long time ago from
Yeah.
that, I think, but you
Yeah,
were in a
it was-
7-year relationship
Yeah.
in which you thought, as many young people in their 20s think, that you're going to be with the person that you love like that forever.
Yeah. It was all I saw in my life was just this person for the rest of it. Like I actually never even went to the place where I would be like, but what if it doesn't work? I just
Never
from the
thought
second
about
I met
it.
him, I never went there. I was like, always, this is my person and this is the rest of my life.
And how did you deal with that breakup? Being dealt information, which is, okay, now this is not what you had planned.
You know, I think I dealt with it the best I could. I dealt with it. I dealt with it, which is important.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and it was like obviously a like up and down roller coaster journey. I think we're coming up on like almost 5 years since that breakup. And there's been a lot of like realization since then, like a lot of aha moments. And obviously it's felt lonely and painful and confusing and all of the feelings to be able to get to the different aha moments. But like, I do feel like I've let him go and let that like dream of that future go at this point, almost
Right.
5 years later, which is pretty cool.
And do you feel stronger
Yes.
because of the breakup?
Yeah, I do.
Right.
I feel stronger and I feel like I've always had some level of connection to myself and love for myself. Sometimes it's felt deeper down than other times, but like it's gotten that tether to like myself has gotten so much stronger, which in turn I think makes you stronger, made me stronger. So yeah, I know this sounds super dumb and cliche, but like, I'm really happy it happened. Like,
Yeah.
But
I
think
am.
that's the point I'm trying to make to all of our listeners is that, when you do break up and we have these ideas and we have these attachments to outcomes,
Yeah.
not even to the person necessarily, but to the outcome of the situation. It's like if you weren't looking at a relationship and you were just looking at like a math equation and you're like, okay, 2 + 2, okay, a relationship plus a breakup is going to equal this.
Yeah.
Meaning you're going to get stronger, you're going to get wiser, you're going to get closer to yourself. These are all the things that are going to happen because of this heartbreak.
Yeah. And
like,
the journey of the heartbreak is so nonlinear that
Right.
and sometimes feels impossible and pitiful and just hopeless that it's like it is when you're in that position in the low times, it seems impossible to believe that equation. But you know what I did last night, actually, that is on this topic? I journal a lot, which is where a lot of my poetry comes from.
And you handwrite everything?
And I handwrite. I love handwriting because I feel like when I'm angry, like my writing's angry. When I'm like feeling grounded, my writing is beautiful. And like it's just a cool cathartic expression. But every time I finish a journal, I have this like ritual where I go through it and I kind of read back what I was writing about and experiencing, and then I rip up the pages. Sometimes I burn them. Sometimes I flush them down the toilet, throw it all away.
Oh.
And it's like a light sage. It's like a whole like thing to cleanse from that. And last night I finished a journal and I went through it and I was reading the things at the beginning of my journal and my current kind of things that I'm like a heartbreak journey that I'm on. I'm like, I was having all these same thoughts that kind of reoccur that I feel now, but I was having so much more of them and they were so much more like hysterical and had like a stronger hold on me than they do now. It's just like nice to see, like, even though I'm still feeling these things and having these thoughts, like there's been a growth.
Yeah. Well, and I like what you say about going through it because that is a choice, right? You can choose to like do the work, journal, go to therapy, cry about it, whatever. Or you can choose to like distract yourself, just jump into another relationship. Like it is an active choice to decide to deal with the feelings as they come up.
And also to blame the ex or, so many people can do that, whether you're, it's not about just being a woman. Men can do that too. Like, to blame, like it doesn't matter whose fault it is when something's over. It matters how you pick yourself back up. Like that's the most important thing is how you are going to restore your energy, your faith in yourself, and how you're going to provide for yourself. Like it's not about other people coming in to save you. It's about you saving yourself. And I think that's something that we always forget, like we always forget. You want to be like, well, he's an asshole. And even your friends will be like, I can't believe he strung you along like that. Or he's garbage. It's like, it's not about him. And it doesn't help to have that energy towards anyone anyway.
Although I will say, I think that is sometimes a necessary phase of the getting to
definitely. But it's not the end goal.
It's not the end goal.
Right.
And it's not the core of what's happening.
Right.
Like, it's everyone's, trying their best. Everyone's fucking trying their best.
But is everyone trying their best? I don't know.
The thing is, like, it's actually sad. I'm kind of feeling, and look, maybe when I'm a male lion, I will have a different perspective, but I'm kind of feeling right now in my life like everyone is trying their best. And even the really shittiest of the shitty, like awful, vile people of the world, like it's actually sad to realize that because of whatever their circumstance, that is their best.
That's their best.
It's like, it's kind of heartbreaking to realize that, but it also is almost like a relief, like that everyone's just, and it also is, it makes it easier to kind of have empathy for myself that like even in my past when I've handled things now, not the way I would handle it now or not the way, like even now I handle things like I sent a text last week and my therapist was like, now what would you rate that text? Like what grade would you give that text? And I was like, probably a B-. And she was like, interesting. I was like, but it's like, but in that moment I was trying my best. Like I literally could not have done better in that moment. And I'm trying to learn from how, if that type of moment comes up next time, maybe my best would be better.
I think in those moments, if you're in a B- mood, no, like
don't send the text.
You don't send the text. You're like, I have to wait for my mood to get back to recalibrate.
Yeah. B- is a passing grade. Like I was like, I feel like this is better to do and act upon than to avoid and ignore. But B- is, it's not the thing. This is what's cool is that 3 years ago, if I was in this exact same position, I would have done something that was like an F.
Right.
Like,
right.
so,
Improvement.
yeah, I like to think that at all times I am doing the best I can in the moment. And if I'm doing that, then that's how we all are, no matter what our predisposition. Is that the right word?
Yeah. And your personality. I'm going to read another poem that I want to share with our audience.
Okay.
I like this, Chelsea.
It's exciting,
We read
but
to each
scary.
other a lot on this show.
We talk about books a lot on this show, and you
Yeah.
read a lot, it sounds like.
I want to ask you, because you recently I don't know how long ago this was, but posted like a very cute thirst trap with a Brandon Sanderson novel.
Oh, yeah.
Are you like
that was my thirstiest
into the
trap
cause?
I've ever posted. I was like, is this porn? Like, my friends were like, do it.
It was very cute.
Thank
But
you.
so are you loving those books? Did you get through it? Like, because I'm sort of toying with reading. It's like a stack of books that's like as tall as a person.
The Way of Kings?
Yes.
I haven't gotten, to be honest with you, I haven't.
Okay.
I then got distracted and got into more A Court of Thorns and Roses
Sure.
books. But I have read probably like 10 Brandon Sanderson. Have you read any of
I
Brandon
haven't read any because I'm like, if I read one, I'm probably going to have to read them
That's
all.
the I would start with the Mistborn trilogy.
Okay.
Those
Okay.
are actually my 3 favorite books of all time.
What kind of genre is this?
It's
that we're talking
fantasy.
about?
It's like pure fantasy, like world building, but it's also like the way that Brandon Sanderson writes. It's not smut. It's very PG, sometimes PG-13.
Okay.
But it's like very metaphorical. It's like deeply thought-provoking and powerful,
Sure.
but also just like so fun. And I love just getting lost
Okay.
in these
All right,
things
you're
with
so- you
magic.
sold me on
There's
it.
magic and there is romance, but it's again, it stops at like a
smutty.
kiss.
This reminds
Okay.
me of a Disney World post that you once posted
Yeah?
when you went to Disney World. You're obsessed with Disney World,
I am a
right?
Disney
you love
adult.
it. You love it.
I'm
I
a
did wear my
Disney-
Mickey
Right.
shirt for you today.
Gosh, now you're
I
themed.
remember seeing you post that, and I was like, "Oh, because I am not. I am not."
I
And
gotta
was
take
like,
you to Disneyland.
No, you don't.
No?
I've been there. I've
No, you
been
don't.
there.
She said.
Been there, done that.
But let me, okay,
thanks.
this is a really cute one. And every audience member or audience listener is going to relate to this. It's called Bestie.
Okay.
Hot pink, heart blue, I come home, I come for you. Plug you in twice a month, plug me up twice in a row. Just me, can't sleep, hard week, you're always hard, aren't you? A little less empty inside. That is really, really cute. I just love it. And
I'm talking about my best friend.
Yes, yes, yes.
I love
Yeah.
that you said your team would not let you put a vibrator on the cover of this.
Yeah, it was a real conversation.
Rude.
It was a real conversation. But my Lily Kravitz, who designed the book and has been my friend since I say at the beginning of the book, was the first person to ever see me dangle car keys off my erect nipple.
Wow.
And that
erect
is true.
nipple.
My erect
I
nipple.
like that.
It is
Yeah,
impressive.
my nipples are
Yeah.
pretty impressive erect.
Really?
They can handle a whole keychain.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about my own nipples when you were saying that because my nipples can get really hard and I've never used the word erect with my nipples and I will start doing that.
Yeah,
now.
it's like some nipples are deserving of the word erect.
Mine
and
would
some-
be.
some
because
yeah.
my
fingers
nipples
are.
get really hard and
Yeah.
then they are serious.
You have substantial
but
nipples.
they don't stay that way. They're
Okay.
very long. It's
I
just
wonder
like
what-
a 70-year-old
I wonder if
man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Sometimes
you
just
probably,
one
hopefully
gets
you
erect.
don't know what I mean.
No,
Hopefully
I
you
actually-
haven't had sex with a 70-year-old
I
man
haven't
yet.
had sex with a 70-year-old
yeah,
man.
and neither have I.
Yeah.
but I
don't
have
think
had
so.
sex with men who
could be 70 or act like they're 70
Yeah.
or have the same erections as a 70-year-old.
exactly. That
I
is
hear
what I
what
was
you're
gonna say.
saying.
Yeah.
And okay, wait, back to your book. I want to
Yes.
talk about how so you've been writing, you've been journaling your whole life. So, like how
Not
when did
really
you
my whole life.
when did you
I
start?
really started committing to the journal after the big breakup almost 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Because that was a huge turning point in my life because I was a kid and then I met that person and was with him for almost 8 years. And then we broke up and I was like out in the world for the first time, like as a just human. And so that was a lot to process.
And you're an only child.
And I'm an only child.
So do you have are you tight with your parents?
I'm tight with my parents.
Yeah.
I love them. I really love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good people and they've tried they've done their best, like they've been really loving, supportive parents, which is And, they still love each other. They've been together since they were 17 and 18.
Wow.
Isn't that like amazing and also
weird?
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's amazing. Yeah, I like them. So yeah, I was a kid with my parents, and then I was a young adult with a man, and now I'm a Haley person.
But that, I think
now you're Haley Lu Richardson.
Now I'm Haley Lu
It
Richardson.
like catapults you, like a breakup can sometimes like catapult you into adulthood, especially if you were just a kid when you got into that relationship. Like,
And did you lean on your parents a lot during or during any difficult time? Do you lean on your therapist the most? Like, who's your go-to person?
I think I've had different people throughout my life. Like in relationship, obviously, like your partner that you rely on is your partner, and my mom's like the closest person in my life, and honestly has really like grounded advice. Like my mom's not really in it for the drama with things I tell her about. She's like really productive with her advice to me. It's nice. Obviously my therapist, I shout out, love her. Saw her this morning. And friends, although sometimes that can, I think, lead to, if you rely on a friend too much, it can lead to, codependent things and weird patterns that happen, and then they just get sick and tired of you, or vice versa, and then it ruins the friendship in a way.
Let's talk about the difference between codependence and interdependence for a second, because I thought interdependence was codependence, and somebody schooled me the other day and said, no, interdependence
a healthy version.
is a healthy. But also I was reading this thing that like when you couple up with someone, right? When you're in a relationship, it's almost impossible not to become codependent. Even though codependent has a negative connotation, when you look the phrases up, they're mostly identical: interdependency and codependency. So, what do you have an idea of what the differentiation is?
I kind of see it through my own lens because, I mean, my husband and I, we are a little bit codependent, but I think mostly interdependent because we have sort of opposite skill sets. And it's sort of like when one of us isn't able to sort of pick up their end of the slack, the other one kind of goes double time. And it's okay. You can burp into the mic here. That's great. That's great. But I think it's like mostly healthy. I think codependence is when it's like almost like needy and you can't do anything without this other person. And then that gets into like the other person sort of being a little controlling sometimes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
or when their problems become your problems, and then you have to basically like you sacrifice your own life for their life. That's codependency in the worst form. Probably.
Or like I can't make a decision without this person weighing in.
Yes. And I've definitely felt that in relationships.
Totally.
There's a book called Codependent No More that I actually didn't finish reading. Maybe I should.
You started. It's fine.
But there is this, I'm reminded of that. I'm like, maybe I should revisit that book. But there's this concept that actually my very first meeting with my therapist that I still talk to now, this was probably almost 10 years ago now. She listened to me talk for like 45 minutes, and then she was like, I'm going to get something and show it to you. And I was like, okay. And she came back from her little drawer with this piece of paper that had a triangle on it. It's called the drama triangle. I'm forgetting the dude that like invented it, the concept of it. Have you guys heard of the drama triangle?
To speak more, it might resonate.
There's like the dramatic codependent version of the triangle, which has 3 points. One of the points is the bully, one of the points is the victim, and one of the points is the rescuer. And when you get sucked, like it's not like any of us, right, are like always or naturally like anxious attached. It's like different situations and relationships that bring things out in us. And so like it's kind of the same idea with this triangle. It's like there are certain people or situations, dynamics that like draw you onto the triangle. And then once you're on the triangle, you're just doing this dance, this like musical chairs dance, like around like playing these different roles, which I think kind of ties into codependency
and triangulation.
It's literally
there's
that.
A space for everyone. Right?
Yeah. And then I was like, she was telling this to me and I was like mind blown because I was like, oh my God, I live like 90% of my life on this gosh darn triangle. Like, how the fuck do I get off? And she was like, well, let me show you another piece of paper. And then she showed me this other piece of paper that had like the healthy triangle, which instead of the rescuer, there was the cheerleader. Instead of the victim, I'm not remembering all of it. I should. We should look it up. But the cheerleader was very important for me because I think the way I got tied on to the triangle all the time was wanting to rescue.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now how can I like not take responsibility for you, but like encourage you as someone that loves you so much and wants the best for you to like make these decisions for yourself. There's the coach instead of the bully.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. You've piqued my curiosity.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Well, I still have more work to do. I have to finish the Codependent No More
sounds like you have
book.
to
I
finish
have
a
to
couple
remember
books.
the words
Way of
on the
Kings.
health. I have
Yes.
to finish Way of Kings.
I'll put a link to, I'll find this online and put a link to it in the show notes so everybody
the
can take a
drama
look.
triangle.
I know you're a big dancer. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of came out here to dance, right?
Yeah.
And originally?
To dance and act, yeah. But
To-
my first like year here was mainly dance work.
Because I remember seeing your People magazine shoot, and I was like,
Really?
I didn't know you were a dancer, and that was just a really beautiful shoot. Yeah,
Thank you.
There's like video attached to
Yeah,
it and
you saw
everything.
that?
Yeah, I
That's
did. It was
cool.
really beautiful.
Thank you.
And I had no idea. And then you were in a Jonas Brothers video dancing because you're a huge Jonas Brothers fan.
Yes, I am. And I was. Some of my friends are like, Haley, are you going to like finally let that go now? And I'm like, I wish I could. But no.
Being such a rabid Jonas Brothers fan,
Yeah.
how? Because I know they asked you a question once, like if you had to choose one of their albums to take away on a deserted island, which one would it be? And I was like, they should have asked you which Jonas brother it would have been.
I mean,
that's a better
ding, ding.
question. And so let's figure out who that is.
Well-
if you had to go, I forget about their marriages,
Yeah.
pretend they're not married.
Okay.
We're living in a different alternate reality.
Sisketio.
Okay, which Jonas brother would you want to be trapped on a deserted island with?
I mean, I'm getting excited thinking about it.
We're going to make this a reality, by the way.
So, well, the thing is, obviously, since I was like 11, I've been obsessed with Nicholas. So
Oh.
I think I like kind of have to say him.
I've never heard anyone
No.
call him Nicholas.
Nicholas Jerry Jonas.
Yeah,
That's his name. There's just certain things you just don't forget,
Right.
and you don't like. Yeah.
And how were you able to maintain your composure? So I think we have the answer. It's Nick. Nicholas.
Nicholas.
How were you able to retain your composure when you were on the set of that?
I didn't. I had no self-control. I was like fully just like my teeny bopper 11-year-old me like came out, and that's how I was behaving. And I had no control. I was 11. Like I really was. Like, and honestly, it was beautiful. It was amazing. I wouldn't have wanted it to be any other way. I wouldn't have wanted to like been processing it as like 28 or however old I was at the time, year old me. Like I was just fully seeing it through these like eyes of this little teeny bopper.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I'm
love
sure
that.
they deal with that a lot. So
I was crying
would-
all the time.
I-
My makeup artist, Jenna, like just kept having to like wipe the mascara under my eye because I was like just like smiling and my cheeks hurt and I was just like constantly just like tears would come out. Yeah, that was special.
I was once in a music video.
For
I don't know
who?
if I've ever spoken about
No,
this on
you
this
have not.
podcast. This is a funny story.
Okay.
I was like 17 years old. I was in
Okay.
New York City and I auditioned for this. It was a band called Natural Selection. And I was hired as like the pretty girl. The lead singer had to like just sing to my face. So he was standing across from me and I had never worked before, never done any gigs. And as soon as he started singing towards me, my lips just were quivering, and it was so like embarrassing. Like I could feel it, and I
What
knew
were
that
you feeling?
just nerves, so
Okay.
nervous,
and like
I know.
uncomfortable. Like
And
someone you have no
like I wouldn't be able to
intimacy
do
with.
that if it were someone I knew
Yeah.
singing to me like that. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe now I could, but not smiling. Like that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But at the time, I just had no experience, and it was almost like spasming. Like my face was spasming, and I knew everyone could see me, but I was 17 years old. I had no
Yeah.
resources to be like, I need
Right,
a minute.
right.
Or I was just like, fuck, I'm gonna fall and burn right now. And then they finally removed me, and they're like, we'll just have you as a background extra, and they replaced me. And it was,
Damn.
one of my very first humiliations.
Wow.
And I was like, oh God, if I had known about beta blockers, that would have been a much different story.
You were not meant to be a video hoe,
Wow.
unfortunately.
No.
I was a video hoe a couple times.
Were you?
Yeah,
Yes.
I was. It's like
Well, 'cause you're a
16 and
dancer.
17. Yeah, for
Yeah.
dance. Like there was like this, actually there was supposed to be these boys had a band. They were brothers. They were called Sonus. They were these Argentinian boys.
Sounds a lot like another band. Of
Well, they
brothers.
honestly were like very inspired by and like hoping to be like the Jonas Brothers, like
Okay.
which was a big draw for me because I was like, that's my
But
type.
which one's Nicholas?
But they did this music video on the Venice boardwalk, and I was like, each brother had like a love interest, and I was, I think, the oldest brother's love interest, and there was some singing to my face, not like that close. I don't think I would have been able to handle that, but there was like a lot of serenading, and then I would randomly like do a leap in the middle of the boardwalk, and yeah, I was a video hoe.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like music videos, well, I guess they still do that, but I just like, it feels like it's a dated thing to be singing into someone's face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure that still happens. When I was reading your book of poetry, I was thinking that you remind me a lot of Taylor Swift. Like,
Cool.
in terms of writing all these things down, like a lyricist, a poet, you know, that, and then I found out you wanted to be a singer, right? Or you want to be a singer.
There's like a delusional dream I've had probably my whole life that I would be an amazing pop star, because I'm like, oh, and I, you know, can dance, and I would look good in like metallic bodysuits, and
Right.
and I have a lot of feelings, but I really just can't sing. Like, I don't have that skill
Damn.
set, and I've tried. My parents have spent a lot of money throughout the course of my childhood on voice lessons, and
it didn't work?
They never worked.
You have a few other talents. It's okay.
I have a couple others that I'm focusing on now.
Right.
but yeah, I mean, I love Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
I
are
went to
you a
the air-
Swiftie?
I guess I am now.
I mean,
think
it's kind of hard not to be. Like,
it's hard not to be.
I'm a Swiftie, I think, now too. Like,
Yeah.
my level of interest and the understanding of the impact that she's had, not only on the music industry and for women coming after her,
Yeah.
on all women and all these little
Yes.
girls. Like, this is the happiest news we've gotten in 6 months. Is that,
Engagement.
first of all, she was on the podcast.
Yeah.
That was like happiness.
Yeah.
And then you find out about the engagement. It's like she's almost singularly responsible for our joy right now.
Because, like, think
She's
of how
the
much
only
we've been
joy we have.
rooting for her,
Yeah.
like, because we relate through her heartbreak and these things that she, like, honestly, very generously shares with
Yeah.
us, like, so that we can feel like not alone, which is a big inspiration for me wanting to like give these, you know, poems to the world, because it's like I know what that can do for me when I listen to music like Taylor. And so we're like rooting for her to like be happy and like have someone choose her, and this fucking hottie chose her.
And in the exact way that you can, that the only way to go after someone like that, which is what he did. Like, he shot his shot.
Yeah.
And it fucking worked out. I bet you no
Yeah.
one else did
Does
that.
that? I know.
No one else tried to do that except for him. You know what I mean?
And he seems, obviously don't know these people, but he seems like a pretty secure dude.
Yeah.
And she deserves that and needs that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, I'm really happy for her.
Yeah.
Yay, Taylor.
Yay.
Yeah,
Taylor.
it is happy making. It's happy making. And when I was watching this Instagram video about this little girl, and she was asking her mom if they were going to Taylor Swift's wedding. She was like, "Mommy, are we going to the wedding?" And she's like, "No, honey, we're probably not going to the wedding."
Probably not
Probably not.
invited.
And then she's like, "But why wouldn't we go? Like, we love Taylor."
It's like
and
the
the
Eras
mom was
tour,
like,
but the wedding.
the mom was like, "No, like, honey, we love Taylor because we listen to
Taylor
her
doesn't
music
know
and her
us.
pictures, but she doesn't know who we are."
doesn't know us.
And then the little girl goes, "Huh. Anyway, can you put on Hot to Go?" I was like, what a cute video.
That is cute. I want to see that. Wow. Yeah. I mean, she is very poetic. And I honestly, like, I've always listened to Taylor Swift throughout my life. Like 15, when I was like 13 or something, was probably, it was like pivotal, that song for me. And so, but I never really considered myself a Swiftie, or really like gave into my like full like love and respect for Taylor Swift as like a artist and like amazing force person in the world. But I went to the Eras tour in Atlanta because I wanted to see Biba Doobie, who's this sweet girl I know who was opening for her, and I love her music, and she got me a ticket. And so I was like, sure, I'll fly to Atlanta and watch Biba Doobie and then stay for the Taylor Swift concert. And I stayed for the freaking Eras tour, and I was just like, I knew maybe a third of the songs, but I was like, because I kind of missed like the folklore, other albums, eras. But I was like, it's impossible to be at that concert and watch her presence and her impact and like not be so blown away
Yeah.
and inspired
Exactly.
and impressed. And then I ended up going to the Eras tour in LA, and at that point, I like knew every single song and was a Swiftie. So, yeah,
and the
she got
other
me.
thing I do love, not that this is a podcast about Taylor Swift, I don't think we've ever talked about Taylor Swift on this podcast. Maybe it should be, but they because your poetry does remind me of her writing. Like it is kind of, you know, her
That's
writing
cool.
is poetry.
Yeah.
But the other thing is how beautiful the family dynamic it was. How her parents have crafted and it sounds like you come from a similar kind of, you know, structured, loving, normal family that are like solid, because it could go one of two ways. And we've seen the disasters with all of these, you know, young people who become famous. And when their parents aren't on solid ground and they aren't grounded, it's a disaster. And then look at like the beauty and like you're such a like ray of light. Look at what your parents did for you. You know,
I'm a ray of light. I'm a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, you're a ray of light.
Wow.
Yeah, you're just
I'm a woman.
You're a woman.
Soon to be a male lion.
So, like, I mean, it's just nice to see how important parenting, the impact of good parenting.
Yeah.
I chose not to become a parent because I don't have time for that shit, you know? And I feel like that's a very responsible decision to make.
Honestly,
because
good for you.
if you're not going to be an A+ parent, then you
Don't
shouldn't
do
become
it.
a parent.
Yeah, if you're not going to send the A+ text, then don't send the
Yeah.
B- text. Like, I got to learn these things now so I don't become a B+ or B-
B-
parent.
or a
Yeah.
B- person.
Yeah.
Which, you're not a B- person. So,
Thank you.
Yeah,
B+ or A?
Well,
A+.
we definitely, you're in the
we're
A
there.
zone.
Yeah.
Thank you. But my parents, shout out to them.
Yeah, no. I can
They're
tell that
great.
you have good parents. I
They
can
are.
already tell that.
They have like always believed in me and always loved me. And I think that is unfortunately like rare. It's a really it's something that now 30 and looking back and now having this like adult relationship with my parents, I'm like, you guys were really great. Like you guys really like supported me and made this life that I live possible. And they're great. They're also like a fun hang.
Do you really think that's rare to be loved and believed in?
I do think being like deeply believed in, like the sacrifice my parents made to like let me leave high school at 16 and move to LA and like give up whatever money they were saving for a college experience for me and like be away from each other for a year and a half while my mom lived with me in LA and my dad was back in Arizona, like put their lives on hold to like make that, like that is something that like people that I know, their parents didn't do that for them and wouldn't.
Right.
And there's people that I even know that they wanted to like do something unconventional or more like not even unconventional, but just like arts or something, not good. And their parents like encouraged them not to because of X, Y, and Z. And it's like my parents didn't just encourage me
They sacrificed
not to.
for you.
They sacrificed and like made it possible for me, which I do think is rare.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
On that note, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back with Haley Lu Richardson. And we're back with Haley Lu Richardson and her new book of poetry, which is called Sad and Horny.
I'm sad and horny.
Oh, sorry. Which is
You
called.
know what? That was a question in my publisher was like, are you sure you don't want to call it Sad and Horny? And I really thought about it because actually originally I wanted to call the book I'm Sad and Horny by this book. Because like I just wanted the desperation, the like aware desperation to be like a part of the title. And I had multiple people encourage me to get rid of the by this book. And I agreed with that.
Right.
But my publisher was like, are you sure you want the I'm? Because sad and horny is just so like a thing. And I'm like, I thought about it and I was like, I really want the I'm because it's so personal.
And you own it.
And I own it. And then it's like also the question of like, oh, what are you reading? I'm sad and horny. I liked that conversation happening. So, yeah.
Great. We're going to take some callers and we're going to give some advice.
There's callers?
There's callers.
Oh,
There's
yes.
real life
Oh my
people.
gosh, that's so cool.
And
Yes.
And
Wow.
then I'm glad you're all therapized because that's going to help you give out some advice.
Okay, cool.
Yes. So our first caller is Bree. She's 37. She says, Dear Chelsea, I'm a 37-year-old woman and I found myself in a precarious situation. For my entire adult life, I prided myself on my ability to remain faithful in any and all of my relationships. I had never cheated and had a very negative perspective toward the idea of cheating. I was in a faithful and monogamous, although toxic, relationship from 25 to 33, and after ending that, I spent 4 months being single and dating my now ex, Adam. After almost 2.5 years together, I started to realize that Adam and I were not compatible. However, I didn't initially act on it. About 4 months ago, I started to pay more attention to one of my male coworkers, Bryce. Even though we've worked together for years, something changed, and I found myself thinking about him outside of work. After finding a work-related reason to initiate a text to him, we began texting regularly. Within a few weeks, we were talking all day at work, taking private walks on our breaks, and texting all night. Needless to say, my partner had no idea. This quickly led to us confessing our feelings for one another, kissing when we had the chance, holding hands on walks, and pretty soon admitting that we were falling for one another. I had decided at this point that I needed to end things with Adam and chose not to move forward physically with Bryce until I did so. However, that did not stop us from making verbal plans to be together once I ended things with Adam. Here's where things change. Fast forward to about 8 weeks ago, I broke things off with Adam and moved out into my own place. Following this, things between Bryce and I began to slow down, and I noticed a growing distance between us, which I assumed was because both of us kind of had a realization that things were moving along quite quickly. Day by day, our communication dwindled until last week when we decided to take a step back with things until we both have our shit figured out and we know what we want. I'm the one who suggested this because I sensed him pulling away, almost as if I was trying to beat him to the punch. My dilemma, I feel heartbroken. I know that ultimately I'm likely still grieving the relationship with Adam as well, but I cannot get Bryce off my mind. I recognize that my abandonment issues and attachment style tie into this, but my question is, how can I find a way to move forward with Bryce given that we work together? When I say we're coworkers, we do not just work for the same company. We sit next to each other a few feet away multiple days a week. Although I'm grateful that I still get to see him, I know that working with him is going to make this very difficult. We're both fairly mature and are serious about our careers, so I know that we'll both do our best to try and maintain an amicable dynamic at work, especially given that we ended things mutually. However, I'm having a hard time seeing his face on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I've never been in a situation like this, both in terms of infidelity and the relationship with a coworker. Any advice to help me navigate this challenge? Bree.
Bree, hi, Bree.
Oh my gosh. You're a real person.
Bree, we're
Wow.
here. You're real. Oh my
Bree.
God. This
Hi.
is Haley Lu Richardson, our special guest today.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Bree. Thanks for sharing that.
Well, it sounds like, okay, well, somebody once told me this. I mean, I'll give you real advice too, what I think. But somebody once told me, like, when you're in a relationship that's kind of stale, there's a person who gets you out of that relationship. And you can sometimes confuse that with like, oh, I'm in love. Like sometimes you just need to get out of the position A and move into position B. And sometimes that only will happen if somebody else comes around and like lures you away. So
Absolutely.
This is a huge opportunity for you, for growth, for learning, for getting to know yourself. You have to embrace your womanhood, which we've been discussing. You have to embrace your womanhood right now. You can handle anything. You're a woman. We can fucking do anything. You're fierce, you're powerful, and you're resilient. That's what you have to tell yourself every single morning when you wake up or before you walk into the office and think you're going to melt when you see him. You're stronger than him. Okay? Just remember, women are stronger than men. And that's not sexist. It's true.
True.
I like that.
So like you have you're in the driver's seat. You ended things, you know, and the driver's seat isn't important, but you just have to know as a woman, you are so powerful. If you want this to happen with this guy at work, it can happen, but respect the fact that you just got out of something and going straight into something isn't really going to be the most valuable lesson in your life. The more valuable lesson, and if you want to, like, I always say, I like to make the first time the last time. Like I don't want to learn the same lessons twice, and I don't want to go to summer school. I want to go to Mallorca. You know what I mean? So I don't like to, like, when there's an opportunity to be like mature or easy and like give in to your lustfulness or your desires. It's not forever. It's not like you have to do this for months and months or whatever, but just choose your higher self and be like, okay, I just got out of a long-term relationship. The most sensible thing to do is like, what would you tell your daughter to do in this situation? If you had a daughter, what would you say to her? You would say, take some time, regroup. You can have this little flirtation. You had a flirtation with this guy. It's going to redevelop. You just keep your distance and be in the driver's seat because that's what you are. You are in the driver's seat.
Wow.
And you can completely control yourself. I know you can.
I like that. You know what? That's actually great advice. You are kind of making the point that I feel like maybe I'm almost giving him the power.
Yeah.
And I need to kind of take that back. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's actually that's really good advice. And also to your first point, sometimes we just need that one person to get us out of the initial, slow moving, stale I like that. I'm going to hold on to that. That's actually really great advice.
It was a guy that was having an affair, and he said, I was with two guys who had both left their wives for other women, and they had been married to their new wives forever. But they said they both had the woman they had an affair with got them out of their marriages, and then they ended up with different women. And there was like, and they had a term for it. And I was like, oh, I'm like, well, I'm going to take that for women. Haley, do you agree? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with. I mean, I want you to be my therapist. But you also just like you say really like emotionally deep, true things, but you say it like it fucking is, and that's so cool to like. It must feel so nice to like be getting that advice in that way. Yeah, I completely agree, and I also just like actually really commend you because I think you seem like a very aware, thoughtful person, like the way you go through life, even like your awareness of the ways that you were unfaithful in the end of the relationship. Like I'm impressed by the fact that you never, whatever it was that this guy Bryce was showing in that attraction was showing you that was making it clear to you had to get out of the relationship with Adam. You know, there were times where like the powerful woman that was making the decisions and in control of your actions maybe went to the passenger seat or in the back seat and something else was taking over, but like you never let you get like stuffed in the trunk and just like fully act out of passion, need, instinct, lust, out of control. And like I find that really impressive, honorable.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I mean, whatever, if there's a part of you, I don't know if there's a part of you that like feels guilty or like ashamed, like see that as like whatever healthy shame so you don't do that again and hurt yourself and someone else in a way that you wouldn't want to again if you were in a similar situation, but also just like really like think it's pretty cool the awareness you had through all of that.
Right, to not like go full throttle with an affair sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Agreed. So good for you on both fronts. Yeah. So just gear up and go back to work like the badass woman that you are and handle it.
Thank you so much. I feel like I just needed a little bit of a push. I actually really appreciate it. This is not something that obviously I can talk to about with most people, right? I don't, you know what I mean? I can't, I'm not calling up my mom or another coworker or friend. So I appreciate it. I just kind of needed another woman's perspective, and that all makes a lot of sense. And also thank you for touching on the guilt and the shame, because of course that's, kind of floating around in the back of my head, or in my heart, I should say. So I appreciate that. Thank you. I needed that.
Awesome.
You got
well,
this,
thanks
Bree.
for calling in.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate your time today.
Absolutely.
Bye, Bree.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
You've got this. Oh,
If
I
I
feel
were
the same way. I feel like you got it.
that was like a perfect caller.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's great.
Perfect, because people call in with these kinds of serious things. I mean, that is serious, but she wasn't
Overwhelmed.
broken. You know what I mean? Some
Mhm.
people do call in and they're broken, and like, and then it's like you can't talk to them like that. It's
yeah, she had like a real like awareness. It was really even like through that hard time, because like the end of her, like it's hard to be at the end of a relationship and something not working, and especially if you can't admit it to yourself, then you can't admit it to the other person, and then something out of control happens that's like hurtful. And I feel like she actually had a lot of like
Self-awareness.
through that.
There's also this idea that like when there's an attraction, like we can't help ourselves, and it's just so silly. It's like we can all help ourselves. You don't have to fuck your fucking coworker while you're still in a relationship. That's such a man thing to do. Like, like you have to have accountability.
Whoa.
Like leaving the relationship. What?
Well, I just had this like hearing you say I can't help myself is like I just had another meaning of that, of like, but you can help yourself. Like whatever you are searching for in that connection or trying to get from that external thing, like it's like I can't help myself, but actually you can always help yourself.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah. That gave it a double. That's now I got a double meaning too.
Okay,
Wow.
perfect.
Okay, great.
Well, our next question comes from Lauren, and she says, Dear Chelsea, I'm a 33-year-old therapist in St. Louis. I love my job and the life I've built here, but the dating scene is so challenging. I ended a long-term relationship 3 years ago and have been trying everything to meet new people. Dating apps, singles events, networking parties, you name it, I've done it. I'm also in maybe the only career that I can't meet people at work, confidentiality and all. She's a therapist. I realized I already said that, but yeah, she's a therapist. I made the decision to move to a new city to experience dating somewhere else. I'd love advice on how to make connections and meet singles in a city I don't know anyone in. You're such an inspiration. Thanks for all you do, Lauren.
Well, that's easier than Hi, Lauren. Hi, this is Lu Richardson, our special guest today.
Hi, so good to see you guys.
Nice to meet you. Hi, Lauren.
First of all, great for taking this situation, and doing something about it and moving to a different city. First of all, that's great, like proactive behavior. And as a therapist, you probably already know that. But I think you just have to put yourself out there in every way possible. Like you have to join all sorts of clubs you don't give a shit about. Just like you join a runners club, join a biker. What city are you in, by the way?
I'm in St. Louis, but I'm moving to Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Cheese.
You can join like kayaking, on Saturday mornings. You could do a paddleboard class. You could do all sorts of shit. But think about things in that that are going to yield a more of like an intersexual kind of community. Like you don't want to obviously take ballet class lessons, like that's not going to, you're not going to meet men, but think of things, and I'm just saying things off the top of my head, but really sit down and make a list of like activities that you'd be down to do. Tennis, if you want to take like tennis lessons, join a tennis club. You don't have to join a country club. You can join a tennis club, and you can join a biking club. You can join a runners club. All of those are going to yield both sexes. So you're going to meet friends, and you're going to, and if you're in a new city, you're going to need some new friends anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to meet people that way, and don't give up on the dating sites. Like I understand that they sometimes feel like, oh God, like it's overwhelming or it's so depressing because you go on these dates and you're like, this is all that's out there. It's trial and error like everything else in life. And like if you really have a desire to meet somebody, then it's up to you to make that happen. And you're gonna push yourself a little bit further, even if you're like, oh, like I don't want to do my fucking Spanish homework. I'm not in the mood, but I know I'm gonna do it because I want to get better at learning Spanish. You're gonna go on that date. Maybe you don't feel like up for it, but that's one step closer to finding the person that you want. And if a partner is that important to you, then you have to make that like a top line priority.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like treat it like a job.
Yeah, treat it like a job.
And also I think people forget the value of like asking the cute guy in line at the coffee shop for his number. Like just be ballsy and like, make some light conversation and they'll be like, can I get your number?
And I also, yes, that's a great point, Catherine, because everyone would think that I do whatever I want when I want and I have all this confidence, right? I have missed so many opportunities by not addressing a man that I've seen at a party or in a store or something, like where I've wanted to be like, oh, that guy's hot, or like I'm trying to catch his eye, and it's just stupid. Like I should have just walked up to the table and been like, hey, I think you're pretty cute. Here's my number. That's what the advice I would give to anyone. Yet there are many times where I have not done that. And all I do, that's the only thing I think I regret in my life is not actually being as bold as people think I am with regard to like meeting guys or hooking up. Like, what do you have to lose? Who gives a shit? You don't even know the person. So if they're not into you, who cares? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you kind of have to grab life by the balls, especially now. It's like, if that's such an important thing to you, you really have to just do everything to make it happen. So that would be my advice. I mean, Haley's single too right now.
I was going to say, I'm kind of in your boat. Like, I'm kind of in your boat. But I do actually feel like I act on the boldness, I guess, or just like the saying, like my thing is I just am like, hey, I just wanted to tell you you're really handsome. And, sometimes it elicits like a nice response and there's like maybe just like a little night, like maybe they don't ask for my number or nothing ever happens, but it's just like, oh, I had a little connection and they told me I was cute too. And that's like kind of a nice little
That's actually a perfect way to do it, because that's so cute. And like that's such a sweet way to do it because it's so charming. Like it's not like, hey, I want to fuck you, here's my phone number, which is what I would do. But I mean, I haven't exercised that right
maybe
nearly
I'll try
as much
that
as
and it'll work better.
But like, I think you're really handsome. Who's not going to love that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no one that I've done that to hasn't loved it. Like the worst that I get is like, oh, thanks.
Right?
And then they go on with their life and I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm really in your boat. So I feel like I was listening to her advice and maybe the same way you were, but just I guess if there's anything, know that you're not alone. Like there are a lot of us out on the apps getting sick and tired of the apps, deleting the apps, thinking they're in love with a waiter because he looked at her a certain way, like sliding into someone's DMs that's on Love Island, like and never getting a response. Like, I mean, like I've done wild things and none of it's been really successful yet. And I'm just like trying to hold on to hope and not become bitter. So I'm right there with you.
Lauren, have you tried sliding into some DMs of Love Island contestants?
Not with Love Island, but definitely other shows for sure.
Amazing.
How they were? Have you gotten responses? Because I literally haven't, and I'm like, wait, what?
I have a blue check mark.
Yeah. You're like, what's this fame thing for if I can't get what I want?
I definitely need to try to be more bold. I feel like I fall into the friendship aspect. Like I need to, up my flirting and just like be confident with it and fake it till I make it.
Yeah. And be active on those dating sites. Like just get on all of them and be active and be forward about what you're looking for. Like I'm looking for a relationship, like be very, and just really like, I just always think the more you do of something, the quicker you're going to get to where you're going. There's going to be a lot of rejects or people that you're not interested in. But in doing that, you're kind of getting all of that stuff out of the way and getting closer to the person that you will be into and that you will want to have a relationship with.
It's a total numbers game.
And you have, you have everything on your side. You're in a brand new city.
Yeah.
The options are endless, And
you're a cutie.
And people are getting divorced every single day. So there's something else to think about.
I know.
Like what
I do think about that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe you'll get someone on their second time around.
Yeah. That's kind of the best time to
The
get
world is
them.
our oyster. The world is our oyster.
All right, Lauren and
thank
Haley.
you so much.
Yeah, we'll need you both to follow up when you put this into practice.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll let you know if any of the Love Island contestants ever
get back.
And I'll see you. I'm coming on tour next year to Madison, so I'll see you there, hopefully.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, I will definitely see you there. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, Lauren.
Have a great day. Bye, Lauren.
Bye.
You know what my sister-in-law did, which obviously worked out for her because she's my sister-in-law now.
Wow,
she came home from like visiting family in Ireland who were like teasing her because she was 30 and not married, which is silly, but she felt some kind of way about it. So she just decided to like make it her job to go on all these dates. She went on like 1 or 2 dates every single day. And here was her trick. She goes, in order to not repeat outfits with the same guy, she goes, I had a first date outfit that I'd wear on all my first dates, a second date outfit, a third date outfit. And most of them didn't get past date 3. Eventually she found my brother-in-law and they were like, how are you still single? And, fell in love and got married. But she goes, by the end of that, my first date outfit was like raggedy. Because I'd worn it so many times, but it was just like she like just made it a numbers game. Yes.
Wow. Armpit stains. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. I mean, honestly, that is hopeful to me because there's so many, like, especially like my parents and people of their generation don't get that, like don't get the dating apps, the putting yourself out there. So they're like, well, don't you just want to just live your life and let the person find you? And I'm like, that's what I've been doing for 30 years. And
ideally, yes. But we live in the technology age. So it's just like a numbers game. And like that's how so many people are operating. They don't want to waste a night going out to a bar or going out to a restaurant or whatever because they're like, oh, I'm going to save that for my date night. You know what I mean? Some people or like orchestrate their entire or organize their lives around that. So it's like kind of like that's the age we're living in. So there's nothing wrong with it. We're going to take a break and we're going to be right back to wrap up with Haley Lu. And we're back with Haley Lu Richardson, who's going to, I guess, turn on all your apps when you leave here and just, I mean,
I'm ready. I'm actually enjoying
yourself.
I'm enjoying myself.
I know.
I'm like, and also,
so is your vibrator.
So I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying,
bestie.
I have multiple besties these days, different shapes. For different moods. Love them all equally. So I have a pretty good crew. We're in a polyamorous relationship.
I love different shapes for different moods. I would love to see a chart on that at some point.
Yeah.
Yes. Mood? The book is called her book of poetry, which is great and really funny and sad at times, but poignant. It's called I'm Sad and Horny. And so please get yourself a copy. And you're just absolutely delightful.
Thank you. So are you both.
Yes. Thank you for coming. You really brightened up my day today.
Really?
I was having a shit show this morning.
You were?
Yes.
I would not have felt that at all.
Well, great.
But I'm
perfect.
sorry.
But thank you. I mean, you really came in like a ray of sunshine.
Okay.
I meant that.
Thank you. I feel the same way. This was fun. Now I want a podcast. This was so fun.